Am I live now? Great, this thing is not working. If I'm live and anyone can see me, let me know. Because this won't stand straight. Is it standing straight? Yes. 3 viewers. Oh, it is working. 12 viewers? Okay guys, I've never done this before. Welcome to my first Facebook live chat. If you hear me, I know you can leave comments. Please leave comments because I don't know if I have a good connection, if there's good Wi-Fi here, if my phone's charging at the same time. So if I disappear at some point, it is because my phone died. Yeah guys, I'm here for you for I don't know how long, but you can ask me whatever and I will try and answer. And yeah, maybe a little bit about myself. Hey, Sarah, thank you for the first comment. Now I know this actually works. I am in Hungary right now, and maybe you guys don't even know me. Maybe I should say who I am. How tall are you? That's the first question. Okay, that's funny. I'm a giant. In feet or in meters? I'm 183, and that's about, yeah, pretty much exactly 6 feet, I believe. Anyway, I'm in Hungary, in Budapest right now on Wi-Fi, and I hope this is going to work. But I'm here because I would like to talk to you guys a little bit about my main initiative that I mainly work for, that I love to travel for, that I would love everybody else to also care about a little bit more, which is girls' rights, girls' equal rights worldwide, which are incredibly important to me. And I'm working a lot with the NGO Plan International for the Because I'm a Girl campaign, which is incredibly important because it supports girls from very young age on to keep them going and keep them into school and to make sure that women will have a safer and a healthier life growing up, especially in developing countries. There's so many questions. I don't know if I should answer or if I should keep talking because I do want to talk a lot about my initiative in Africa. So if you guys have any questions about that, I'm very happy to answer. You can ask me in German or English. I will mainly answer in English though, I think, because I think most people will understand English better. It's actually freezing. I'll be right back. Let me close the window. I'm still here. I'm surprised this is actually working. It's a little bit of a lonely conversation though. It's a bit weird because I'm sitting here talking to a chair. You should see my setup. You're sitting on a chair, on a table. It's funny, but I wish I had someone to talk to. I wish you guys could actually speak. So anyway, let me tell you guys a little bit more. Oh, this is so cute. I can actually see how many people are watching and commenting. This is cool. This is cute. Thank you guys so much for coming in. Like, you never know who's actually online on Facebook and who's... Where do you want to go on vacation this year? That's funny. I don't know. Somewhere quiet, somewhere with no airports, no luggages. When will we go to Africa next? Thank you for that question. I honestly don't know. This year's been really, really crazy. And I've been working a lot on setting up this project, which is mainly about girls in Zimbabwe. I went to Zimbabwe last year and did this girls' camp with approximately 40 girls that we really got to know very well, and we're trying to support them and trying to secure their secondary, not only primary, but secondary school graduation so they could actually, you know, not really get a job after, but, you know, we're set up for their future. And so I'm going to set up a project where I'm supporting those schools and making sure they have a safe way to school, making sure they get to school, making sure they want to go to school, and then making sure the school even exists. So I'd love to go back to exactly there, which is a little town called Chipinge in Zimbabwe. But I don't know when that will be because it's a lot of, yeah, it takes a lot of time to get it set up. And when I go, I don't like to go for just a couple days. I was there for 3 weeks last year and it was incredible. But I actually went in the summer/winter there and it was quite tough. It was absolutely freezing. I'd love to go back. I'll probably go back next year for sure to see what the money that I have been able to raise with your guys' help has actually changed there. How can I support this campaign? Thank you for that question. Go on tonigarrn.com, and I have a connection with Plan International. They're a great NGO that supports this Because I'm a Girl campaign that supports girls' education. So you can find my link on plan.com, but also I have some really good news to share with you guys next week, because then it'll be even easier for people to donate. Really what we need is we're looking for donations to then support these schools to make sure these girls get a secondary school education, because it's incredibly important. They say if a girl stays in school another year, the chance that she'll make 10 to 20% more income for the rest of her life is assured. And most girls drop out of school right after primary school and don't get the chance for any other education. And then the second biggest reason for the girls between 15 and 19 to die in those developing countries is childbirth, because they simply don't have school. They don't have anything else to do. And it's incredibly sad. So it's very, very important to me that, especially this project, no matter where, if you support another campaign, that's great too, but I do believe that girls' education and that putting money into girls' education in developing countries is incredibly important, and then supports the whole village and the entire country. So I think that that's why that's my main initiative, because that's how you help the boys at the same time, because how are they going to get better and become stronger and healthier without a healthy, smart mom? So let me get back into all these questions. Can we volunteer? Oh, I would love that. Not yet. I would love to set up something somehow, how I can get people to help more. But I'm just starting myself, and right now I would love to support these girls that I met, and all we need is donations. Women are the future. That's exactly the case. What are the biggest obstacles facing girls' education? That's an interesting one. I mean, obviously poverty. Where I go in Africa, obviously every mother wants her daughter to go to school. She simply needs her daughter at home to help clean, get water. To fetch water, sometimes they have to walk an hour and then an hour back barefoot, and they have buckets on their head and with the water in it, and then they clean with it, they cook with it, and they need their daughters at home to help. And often they marry them off, because then they receive a little bit of money. So really the number one issue obviously is poverty. And then infrastructure. The governments don't help so much. They need streets, they need school buses, they need a way to get to school. A lot of the girls don't get to school because it's dangerous for them to go. Some of the mothers don't want them to go to school because it's more dangerous for them to go to school. A lot of the girls, unfortunately, have violence at school more, even from the school teachers, which is why, of course, I'm very much pushing forward to have more female teachers. That's what I did last year in Burkina Faso in West Africa, is we educated up to 700 girls to become female teachers, which was incredibly important, because then all the girls were more willing, all the mothers were more willing to send their daughters to go to school. So there's several obstacles, but then of course there's a lot of cultural obstacles, where even the tribal leaders and the men don't believe the girl needs to go to school longer than a certain age. So are you still in contact with the girls? Yes, of course. I have 4 sponsored children, and we write letters. I send them gifts once in a while. And yeah, you're not supposed to be direct contact with them. Obviously, they don't have electricity, most of them. They don't have phones. You can actually connect like that. And most of the girls that I visited last year are quite young. They're between 10 and 15, 16. Some of the women there, of course, do have cell phones if they're in the bigger cities, but the girls that I'm supporting are the ones that I'm fighting for to stay in school, not the ones that have an actual job or an office. So to stay in contact is not that easy, but I'm in close contact with the Plan office in Zimbabwe. And yeah, they're very, very good on the ground. They have, they're volunteers, and they're people all over the country. They have 6 different offices actually in Zimbabwe alone. So I trust them, and we talk about how they're doing and how we can support more. And yeah, right now it's very important for me, the transportation, because That's one of the biggest issues. Africa is such a huge country and a continent, and with a lot of people and even a lot of schools. But then how do we get all these people to the schools is often the issue. That's where you see all the kids walking for miles in the dark. Sometimes they get up at 4 or 5 to walk to school for 2 hours. Okay, let's see all these others. Thank you. A lot of respect from Georgia. Would you go vegan? That's a totally different question. I have been, and I think it's incredibly good, and I wish the whole world was vegan. It's a whole nother topic. We can do a whole nother Facebook Live chat about food, because I do believe that would be incredible. Unfortunately, I'm going to tell you really quickly, I do eat fish. But yeah, I wish I could stop that. I do. I do believe the oceans are completely overfished. What else? So many comments. I can't really... Oh no, of course this happened. This tripod? Let me see if I can get it to stand again, I'm not sure. No. Shoot. Oh my god. I don't know if you guys have tried to do this, but there's got to be a better technical way to set up this thing, because I managed. Yes, I did. All right, and I'm not going to touch it again like that. And then we go through the comments again. Okay, I'm back. Okay, I'm sure, guys, some of you have just joined. I don't know how long these things are supposed to go, but it's fun, even though I'm kind of talking to myself again. Yeah, for you guys who've just joined, maybe you guys don't know me. I'm Toni Garrn. I'm actually a model, but I travel to Africa a lot to try and work for girls' rights and girls' education. And I would love to tell you guys a little bit about it, or I would love if you supported my initiative on planinternational.com. They're a great, huge NGO that work in over 50 countries, and I'm mainly concentrated on Africa right now simply because I love it. There's absolutely no other reason. Girls need help worldwide. So much in South America and Asia, especially with all the trafficking issues. There's a lot of issues, but you just have to start somewhere. So I decided to start in Africa. I'm sure I'll end up everywhere in the world at some point, but right now that's my main focus. And there's a lot of a lot of obstacles that we're working on, but on my social media, on my Facebook, on my Instagram, you guys can follow up. On tonigarrn.com, you guys can get some more info. And I have some really good news with you guys to share in about a week. All of a sudden, all the comments are coming in. And it's a bit of a mess. I don't know what to respond to. Is there a big issue about malaria? Yeah, of course. Malaria is, there's big issues everywhere. AIDS is an issue in the southern part. Malaria is actually a really big issue in Zimbabwe, where I went, in West Africa as well. It depends on the season, obviously. And we get injections for it, but some people don't get it. You also can take the malaria pills. Obviously, the people that live there, the locals, don't take any of that. Some of them are immune to it, some of them have had it a bunch. It is a huge issue, but I did hear the numbers have been going down a lot, which is really good news. But there's still, I think 60% has gone down, but it is still, especially in Zimbabwe, one of the number one issues. Toni, Antonia, yes, my real name's Antonia. What's up? Wie geht's? Mir geht's gut. Ihr Lieben, wir können auch irgendwann mal Deutsch reden, aber jetzt gerade mache ich es auf Englisch. Vielleicht nächste Woche mache ich es auf Deutsch. How do I cope with the poor conditions? It's really tough. It's tough, but at the same time, I love going because it makes me want to work way harder when I'm back in my life, in my world, to support exactly that world. Because in a way, it is a huge eye-opener, and I wish everybody could experience that, because it's such a motivation. It's such a motivation to go and then want to work harder, and then get more people to donate and make the craziest, biggest fundraisers to actually party for meaning. It's way more fun. Especially my world fashion is around so much, so much socially that you can easily combine with everybody giving a little good deed. So yeah, it's hard to see it, but at the same time it's so eye-opening, and in a way it makes me really appreciate what I have so much more. How much do you love Cape Town? Absolutely love it. One of my favorite cities in the world. How old are you, by the way? That's easy to Google. 23. Really cute comments. Thank you, everybody. Rauchst du? No, I do not smoke. I've never smoked in my life. And nobody should. I'm going to be a mama here. Nobody should smoke. What gave you the inspiration to do that? Inspiration was I went to Africa a lot when I was not really young, but I shot at campaigns in Cape Town when I was 16. Then my brother moved there, and he lived in a school for handicapped kids. And I visited him, and I simply saw immediately how the girls were treated differently. A lot of the way more malnutrition kids were girls. The girls stayed at home even though they were 7 or 8 years old, and I just simply found it unfair, and I knew you had to do something about it. What do you think about rhinoceroses in Africa? That's a whole other topic. We can talk about that another time as well. Thank you for your question. It's important. I love safaris, and I think they should. People who go up against them and kill them is a huge, criminal act. But we have to not talk about that right now. Most touching experiences, there's so many. Talking to the girls, hearing their stories, definitely. When I was in Burkina Faso 2 years ago, West Africa, a girl took me aside and asked me if I could help her. She was 14. I was like, yeah, let's talk, what's up? This is in French. I don't really speak good French. So it was quite tough. She told me how she wanted to go to school. She was 14 years old, and because she left and went to a plan-sponsored school, her family didn't want to take her anymore. She went back home to visit her mom for Easter, and she got shot by a bow and arrow by her village, by someone one of the heads of her village, because they wanted to kill her rather than her going to school, because they wanted her to get married off. And just her going up against that, they'd rather have her dead. And then her mother came up to her hospital and said, please never come back home because you will get killed. Those are the craziest stories, and those are the stories that I do hear a lot there. And I was completely in shock. And then, of course, you speak to the NGO and you ask, what can we do? And they just go, we have thousands of these cases. We have so many girls that we need to support like that, and so many girls who need help. It's just a lot of help. So those schools then need security in those countries. I mean, always depends on the religion in that area as well. I mean, Muslims in northern Western Africa are, of course, even more, certain areas are more against girls going to school, which makes it even harder. But there's a lot of work to be done. And you guys, this has been going on a lot. I haven't gotten any more comments recently. I don't know if my connection is bad, but this has been a lot of fun. And I'm going to do this more, I think. You guys can, comment on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. Thank you guys so much for watching. And I will do this again. Maybe you can suggest another topic, but it most likely will most of the time be about this because I have so much more to say. And have a good, what day is it today? Thursday. Have a good weekend, everybody. How do I turn this off?